I love neutrals just as much as the next person does, but I gotta tell you friends, I am so excited that color is trending again, especially when it comes to home decor. In this episode, we're going to be talking about whimsical color that we can use for Valentine's Day, especially for Valentine's Day with pinks and reds, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips and tricks to try out in your own spaces. So come along and let's make something beautiful for our homes. If you've been here for a while, you will know that I love taking simple supplies and turning them into something whimsical and magical that look high-end, but you don't pay the prices for them. We're going to be taking 2 of these wood planks. Now, my vision for this project was very boutique looking. If you've ever gone to boutiques around Valentine's Day, holidays, you will see that they have these just beautiful, whimsical, with a touch of farmhouse to it, decor pieces. And when you look at them and break them down, it really is not a lot to it. They're really simple to be able to recreate if you just have the right steps. So we're going to be taking these 2 wood planks, and you can see that I sketched out an X and an O for hugs and kisses. And I'm going to just come on without paint, come onto this piece of wood with my Sharpie marker, and I'm going to just basically trace it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. When you look at the boutique pieces, a lot of the times they are imperfect, handwritten letters that just look so cute when it all comes together at the end. That's the whimsical part of it. So I did a little distressing to give it a farmhouse vibe, a little bit of a vintage rustic farmhouse look to it. And now I'm going to glue these pieces together. Now this could be so cute hanging up on a hook in your home somewhere. And it can also be so cute to attach it to a green wreath that you keep up year round on your front door. You don't want to go out and buy a whole brand new wreath for Valentine's Day. You make something like this and then just mount it onto your wreath, and it's going to look so beautiful for your front door. So I used my Crop-A-Dile, punching in 2 holes at the top, and now I'm coming in with a thick gauged wire, and this is just the wire left over from the beaded wreaths at the Dollar Tree. All of my supplies are coming from the Dollar Tree. Yes, even the ribbon that I'm going to use. The ribbon at the Dollar Tree is high quality and it is so beautiful. I love picking up ribbon from there because it is so affordable. So I'm now threading on some of those beads that were originally with this wire on the $1.25 wire beaded wreath forms that they have there at their store. And I'm just going to bend it a little bit to bring it up and around, and then I'm going to trim off that extra wire that we don't need, where I'm going to fold it back down. Now we have created a handle, and this is the part where you could easily just connect this to a wreath. Just wait until we finish. This project is so easy and so whimsical and just so beautiful to put somewhere in your home. Now that I've cut off that extra piece, I'm going to just crimp that down into place so we've got a nice handle, and then now we're going to move on to decorating it. This is as dreamy as you want to make it up to be. It really depends on you. So I always like a little bit of greenery because that's just my style, and again, do what feels right for you. I glued some to the back of it, and now I'm going to start adding on my ribbon. So first I'm going to use the lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use this shimmery soft vintage pink ribbon. And now I'm going to take the original lace ribbon and finish tying the bow because I wanted to get that first piece of pink in there with it. I like to do this when I tie bows. Sometimes I'll tie ribbons on top of that first loop knot, and then I will tie the bow because it makes it look like one unit. Now, the Dollar Tree has these staked large red hearts, and I didn't want to use a lot of red for this project in particular, so I'm switching out the big large hearts for the smaller pink glittery hearts that you can get in a little assorted bag of smaller hearts They're usually kept right next to each other in the craft sections for their holiday season. So I just switched out them to pink, glued them on, and then on the back side of it, I'm going to start adding a lot of ribbons. And the longer the ribbons, the better. However many ribbons you want to put on it, even better. It's all about what you want to do. Now I decided to cut off that extra stake because I wanted it to lay nicely when it's up against a wall or it's on a front door connected to a wreath, whatever it might be. And I also decided to bring some ribbons, doing little sprigs and sprays going up for a little bit of a thriller look. And then I'm going to come back down for a spiller look, where I've got the ribbons dangling down off the back of this. And the ribbon from the Dollar Tree is this pink gingham ribbon, these soft, beautiful vintage iridescent ribbons, and the lace ribbon. Can you get over this? Like, it's $1.25 for a spool of ribbon, and there is quite a bit on each spool for $1.25. If you are new here to my channel, I want to welcome you and say thanks for being here. I am so grateful for anyone who comes to stop in and visit me here in my craft room. Please don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss more videos coming up here on my channel. All right, we're going to move on to a beautiful, whimsical, colorful Valentine's Day mason jar project. We've got one of these dangling heart signs, some of these beautiful glittered hearts in these assorted bags. There's 24 in a pack, a round small foam ball, a mason jar, some ribbon of your liking and choice, and a long craft stick. Start by cutting your foam in half. Now, this part is a little bit tricky trying to get the foam down to the bottom of the jar. I would say, pro tip, best idea is just stick it on the stake, put your glue on it, and then stick it down in there. I did use a little bit of E6000 as well because I don't always trust the bond with hot glue and glass. I like a little E6000 because it makes sure it stays in there for good. Then I'm going to go ahead and support that stick by adding in some more glue. It's going to wiggle around a little bit. You'll see towards the end that it's nice and firm and in place. But I'm now going to come in with some Spanish moss to conceal the foam at the bottom. We don't want to see the foam. That part is not cute. So we're going to add this Spanish moss down in there so that it conceals that part. Now we're going to start pouring in all of our little hearts for our jar of hearts. I just think that this is such a fun, fast, and easy project. Make sure you take a pencil or something pokey to get down in there to move around the hearts so you can position them the way that you want them to look so they don't just look like they're laying flat on top of each other. And now we're going to pick which heart we want. I really loved this hot pink with red and white polka dots. We're going to glue that onto our stick, but make sure you reinforce it by twirling around the heart around the stick just a little bit. And I could have technically glued this heart on before I staked it down in there, but I didn't want to struggle with getting the moss in there and all the hearts, so I'm just going to come back and add the heart on after I do all that work. And then to reinforce the stick again onto the heart so it doesn't come across, we're going to take a piece of scrapbook cardstock paper and we're going to glue that right onto the back and just help smush it all around that stick so it stays on there nice and firm. Once you've got that glued on there nicely, take your time, by the way, pushing that on there so you don't shift everything around. And you can see that I was kind of holding my hand on the jar so the hearts didn't come sprinkling out. We are now going to move on to the ribbons. This is a very simple part of this craft. You're going to cut them to the length that you want and then just tie them onto the stick. And you're going to want them to go in different directions because the crazier it looks with the ribbon, the cuter it'll look. When I was first doing this, I was overthinking it a little too much, and then I just decided to just let go, trust the process, and just tie a whole bunch of ribbon on. And the more that I tied on and I kept pushing it down and they clustered together, the cuter and cuter it got. It's almost like they're like ribbon leaves at the bottom of a heart flower. Now moving up to the top, I'm going to add a little bit of glue and add a finial because I love a good finished project. These are the kind of things that are really easy to overlook, and having a little finial wood topper, this is the only thing that I don't get at Dollar Tree. I wish they sold these at Dollar Tree because I would buy them, and I'm sure a lot of other crafting friends would too. But I pick mine up from Hobby Lobby, and I just wait for their little wood pieces to go on sale, and then I stock up on a whole bunch of them. At the Dollar Tree, they do have wood letters and wood numbers, and I picked up some numbers. I ended up gluing on the number 14 for Valentine's Day. And at this point, it just turned out so whimsical and so charming. Isn't this just so cute to put on a table or a shelf somewhere in your home? Super easy to make and super affordable. When we think of Valentine's Day, we think of roses, right? I know I do personally. And I have had these roses and this particular glitter heart frame foam piece in my craft room for so long. And today was the day that I decided I'm going to turn this into a beautiful wreath. And it's super easy to do. And they charge so much for these kind of wreaths at the store. Top dollar I paid for this with all my supplies was about $13, and that's with me adding in a second foam heart. I actually had 2 of these, and I've been waiting to do something with them forever. So here is what we're going to do. I punched a whole bunch of holes with a pencil into my foam heart because the glitter was wearing off over time, and I had another plan for this a couple years ago, never used it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to turn that into a wreath. So I poked a bunch of holes and I took a bunch of my flowers, their heads right off the stem, and it works out great to glue them into the holes. Now this is a tip that I would do. I filled in about 5 of the holes with glue, and I was working fast before the glue dried, and it also allowed it to be a little bit more tacky, so it held the glue in. Sometimes if the glue is too hot when you're working with flowers and their stems, it can melt them a little bit and make the flowers fall apart. Once I had gotten through all of the holes, the back side is now what we're going to be focusing on. I want to be able to see the center of the heart because now we're kind of losing that shape of the heart with the flowers being too full in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some hot glue, and then we're going to start pulling the petals inward towards the back side of the heart, and we're going to glue them into place. Now this part took me probably like 15 minutes because I didn't want to burn myself, and I was trying to make sure that I got the pieces laying down flat properly. I really am a big believer in take your time and do it right. So I'm coming in with glue and I'm taking my time gluing everything down the way it needs to be, so that way it looks like the center of the heart is creating more of that shape for the wreath. I got one side completely done, and then I went to the other side realizing I still needed to take care of that center point of the heart that comes down in the middle. So I flipped it back over so I could see visually what I still needed to manipulate with the leaves. And then there you go. Now we can see the center of the heart and it looks so beautiful. Now I like greenery. You could just do it where it's all red, and you can even see that I added in a couple other little small flowers to add some variation, some difference in there, because otherwise I think it just kind of becomes muddled with one color. I also decided that the green leaves would be a great additional touch, and it makes it look like a dozen roses for Valentine's Day. Now at the back side, I'm going to glue on a long looped ribbon that's red and white gingham. I got this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to just glue that right into place, so that way when I come on with the other heart, it's going to clean up the back side of this. You could leave that part out. You really could. But for an extra $1.25, you clean up the back side of the wreath and it looks so high end. I think it was definitely worth it adding on this second heart on the back. You be the judge. Leave a comment down below. Would you add an extra heart or would you just save the $1.25? I like a good finished backside. I say it all the time here on my channel. Now, just keep in mind, glitter to glitter, it can want to come apart, so add a lot of glue so it really sticks on there nicely. And when you're done, you have the most beautiful wreath for a door in your home or on the front door of your house to welcome your guests. Color is so much fun to play with. Leave a comment down below to let me know if you are excited about color trending again, as if we follow trends. But if you do, tell me what you think about color finally coming back into trend and us going back to a world that's full of just beautiful colors. Tell me what you think about that. I'm curious. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I'm going to recommend this video right here, just in case you missed it. I posted a couple of days ago. Thanks so much for stopping in my craft room and visiting with me today. And until the next episode, bye friends.